So last year I saw this video from Andre Rousseau, who some of you might know from his videos, who typically flies foam planes. And I saw him trying new stuff with getting a big gas plane. And then obviously we had the Rona this year, and while being locked up at home, I started thinking maybe in RC I need to do that as well, man. Try something new. So I did. I've been on the lookout, and now the new stuff has arrived at my home. Let's have a look. Right, so I was actually sitting in the sun in front of my little shed to work in. So the first thing that'll stand out here is this is going to be a Cap 10. And you know this one, the Avios Extra. And then next to it, I've got the 60-inch EXP V1 and the Turbo Bushmaster both from Extreme Flight. And then I've got the Pilot Laser. And then here on the ground is the big one, is the big 100cc Edge. And what I'm working on currently actually is this carriage for my daughter's teddy bear. But maybe more importantly, holy mackerel, eh? So I wanted to challenge myself and do new stuff, and I wanted to fly jets. I've flown a few from club mates of mine. Was really cool, but was never really into it until, well, lately basically. Kind of felt the urge. I wanted, this is a Sebart Avanti, so it's a 2.2 meter one, 2.2 meter fuselage. And I wanted one like this, not a scale model. I wanted one that is really capable of doing aerobatics. And this is. So yeah, not the full out version. You can put an 18 kilogram turbine in this with vector thrust, and then you have a 3D machine. I went with the 14 kilogram one. Or better said, Wim, the guy who I bought this from, went with the 14 kilogram one. So this has been flown before, but we took the radio out and we're changing some stuff here. So let me just show you what's going on. So first thing to know when you buy a jet, if you buy the jet, you're not done. You have to keep on buying, because you'll need maybe a compressor for air. You'll need a new big fuel tank to fuel it up at the field, because you have a 5-liter one for your gas engines, and then you'll need one, a 25-liter one, so you'll be able to do a couple of flights and more stuff. And then you need to equip it right. I was lucky that Wim really had a good setup already. Yeah, let's just check out what I'm going to be doing. It does look a bit less pleasing to the eye without the canopy, but we'll have a good look at the internals, right? So this little bad boy is going to come in there. This is a JetCat P14 RXI. So it's a turbine that will generate 14 kilos of thrust, and this plane should be around 10 to 11 kilograms, maybe 13, filled up with fuel. So that should make it really make it go. And then just look at the inside from front to back. So in the front, the retract with a servo for the nose wheel steering, and then you see a small servo there in the bottom. It's not really zoomed in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so a small servo for the nose wheel door. So we'll have to do something with sequencing. Then if we move back, yeah, basically there's a bit of a void. So there's some components going in here. Next thing we see is the ECU, which is the electronic control unit. Just like a car, one of these RC jet turbines, they are like computer guided. So this is the microcomputer that basically controls everything. I'll talk to you about those two things later. Then what stands out is a huge tank, huge double tank actually, because on the left side there's a tank for kerosene. And then on the right hand side, that's the tank for smoke fluid. And the smoke fluid will be guided to the back. Obviously the engine isn't in there, but what you can see here is the crack pipe and the holder for the turbine. So that's my next job, to reinstall that. And what will come in is two of these will go in the pipe, and they'll they'll be used to inject the smoke fluid into the stream of hot air, hopefully generating this nice thick smoke, which I always love on jet models. So yeah, put that away. Then a lot has been done already on this. It has flown twice, so basically all the plumbing is done already. So here in the bottom you see these two cylinders. They are two pressurized air containers. So and why two? Because the one on the left is for the gear, and the right one is for the brake on the main gear. And they go to these two, which are Jetronics controllers. So they basically control through servo leads and your receiver the operation of, on the left hand side, the retracting and extending the gear, and on the right hand side that supplies the air for the brakes on the main gear. And then just in front of those, these Festo things, they can show me the air pressure. So the one on the left is at 2 bar right now, and then the two little things in the middle, that's where I can fill that air up with one of these compressors. So yeah, and then what I'm gonna do is I am going to install this bad boy. It is the new Powerbox Competition SR2. So basically this will supply the current and the signal to all the servos. Really cool because it has a lot of capabilities for programming, and this is actually the first one that you will build the screen into the plane with, which will look really cool and which will be really handy. And then the switch. So basically when programming, you can see what you're doing on the screen, and you'll use the buttons, or I'll use the buttons on the switch to do the programming. And then it should look a bit like this. So it should read out, when in normal operation, should read out your battery voltage and all of that. So I'll be using the Powerbox Core as a radio, really cool radio. Yeah, and what I'll be programming, there's not a lot to program through the Powerbox except for that this door on the bottom, the door for the nose gear. I'll have to program a sequencer so that gear door opens before the wheel pops out. And then with these types of models you have to be really sure that it's all safe. So I've got two of these PBR 26D receivers. So it's a 26 channel receiver actually. I think I need about 16 on this one. 26 channel receivers, two of them, and they are S-bus. So basically receiver goes to the power box, signal goes in here, comes out here to all the servos, and if one servo would have a problem, it wouldn't draw all the voltage through the receiver and block the entire system. But this Powerbox main function, most important function, is that it will just shut off that channel and you'll still be able to use all the other channels. So basically you'll lose one input. If you're lucky, it's not an aileron that's jammed to an extremity or something, and you can still land safely. Hopefully. At least it's your best chance at landing safely if you have servo problems. And then one other cool touch I'm going to use is this. This is actually a pressure sensor. So that'll go in between the canister for the gear operation and the controller, and it will show me through telemetry on my radio what the pressure is, the remaining pressure for extending and retracting the gear. So let's say I want to do a dirty pass, right? So come do a flyby with the wheels out and the flaps out, then I'll know whether or not I still have enough pressure to be able to retract the gear again and get it out again for landing. So that's a really cool touch. And I'm just waiting on two things. Actually, I just got pictures from Revoc. They make the most awesome covers like you see on my edge, right? I mean, these are expensive toys, so I really think it pays off to just spend a little bit of money to get good protection. So I will get an entire fuselage bag for this and wing bags as well, and basically the horizontal stabilizers have their own bags as well, so I won't have too many scratches from transport. And then another thing, I'm just waiting for Martin Pickering because he flies a lot of JetCat, and there is one problem with JetCat, and that is that their protocol and the language the ECU speaks to telemetry, basically that was programmed for almost all types of radios, but they're still working on Powerbox core. So there's going to be a unit in between, which is actually just a translator between this ECU and my Powerbox system. So I'll be able to get telemetry from the motor to my radio, and which is mainly important obviously for startup and shutting down the motor. So that's it, the new Honey Bunny. This really is exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to flying this. I have no idea whether I'll like flying jets in the long run, but for now it's really cool because I've been doing a lot of the same type of flying for a long time now, and actually I'm really excited to get this in the air. And you know what? When I was thinking about getting a jet, I didn't imagine that I'd have so much fun just thinking about it beforehand. Just thinking about it and trying to figure stuff out. So already looks like it's a good investment. Let's see how she flies. That'll be my next video. So if you want to see it, you know what to do. Click subscribe. We'll maybe get to 1,000, which would be cool. And I'm guessing that my next video in about a month or so will be me hopefully successfully maintaining this thing. Let's check it out. See you later.